So you heard Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan clearly saying that the agriculture sector of India remains protected after the India-US trade deal. However, US has also expressed their willingness to participate in a greater partnership with India, and also they would keep seeking access to India's agri market. Why agriculture is such an important sector for India? Because many people are dependent on their livelihood on this very sector, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave a categorical promise that he will do everything to protect the livelihoods of people, those who are involved in the agriculture, in the farming sector, in the shrimps and in the maritime produce sector. And now, to discuss the various other aspects of the India-US trade deal, what is there for the Indian farmers, what is there for the Indian manufacturers in this deal, I am being joined by Mukesh Aghi, President and CEO of the India-US Strategic Partnership Forum from Washington, D.C. So welcome to India Today.
Thank you.
Mr. Aghi, first of all, congratulations for this exciting announcement, because I know that you and US-ISPF also played their bit in the making of this deal. So can you briefly tell us what inspired the push for this India-US trade deal and how it all came together?
Well, you have to understand that the US is the largest trading partner of India, for almost $200 billion trade between the two countries. And if you look at the services aspect, that's much, much bigger. And to have a 50% tariff for India, which was curtailing the Indian exports into the US, specifically in the low-end garments, gems and jewelries and others. And that's impacting not only the GDP, but also the employment in India. I think by bringing down the tariff from 50% to 18%, it sends a message that India is important to the US, and for India, US is also important because the tariff on China is around 34%. The effort
Absolutely, sir. This gives Indian products
parties
and Indian manufacturers a great advantage, an edge in the US market. But how do you think this will shake things up for everyday businessmen, you know, for the layman of India? If you can help us understand that how it is going to expand the Indian products in US markets?
Well, I think they were curtailed by the 50% tariff. The garment guys were struggling. The gem and jewelry guys were struggling. By bringing down to 18%, it is going to basically make them much more competitive in the US market. And you will see the buyers moving to Indian product because product coming from China has 34% tariff. Product coming from Bangladesh has 20% tariff. A product coming from other Asian countries are higher than 18%. So it does make Indian goods much more competitive. And then with the rupee devaluating by 6% or 7%, that adds to the competitiveness of Indian goods.
So, do you think that there are still some loose ends in this thing? And if there are some issues, do we have a robust mechanism in place to navigate those differences?
No, absolutely. I think India's Commerce Ministry has done a stellar job trying to manage this, and they're working very closely with the USTR in the US. So there is a mechanism, and there are still a few things which are open, and I think both sides are working to close them. But overall, it's a tremendous win for India, so I have to compliment.
Mr. Aghi, how do you see this conversation as? You know, we know that US and China are competitor for the influence in the global market, for the geopolitics and for the geoeconomics. But how do you see this conversation? Do we see a collaboration, a partnership here, or there is a stern message from White House to Beijing?
Well, the sentiment in the US is that China is the main competition, and it is the biggest challenge for the US. It's China which has basically taken and stolen a lot of IP from the US, and that's where I think India becomes critical, because India is one country which sees China as a threat, and China has never treated India as an equal partner. So from that perspective, I think the alignment between India and the United States to deal with a very aggressive, assertive China. So yes, the conversations take place, and you need to talk to everybody to ensure that you don't go into conflict. But we do see in every aspect in the US that China will keep on pushing US in every aspect. In fact, when you look at a couple of months ago, it stopped the critical mineral supply to US. And US has to basically back down from that perspective. So we do see China as a challenge, not only for the US, but also for India.
So quickly, would you say the better sense prevailed in Washington, D.C., that now India and United States are on the same page?
No, absolutely. I think you have to understand in the long term, tariffs do damages to both countries, to the consumer also. And by lowering the tariff, I think it sends a message that it's not just about trade between the two countries, it's also geopolitical. It's also on the technology side, it's on the defense side, it's on the people to people. These two countries have a lot to do together. And by lowering the temperature and the tariff, you will see a much more a greater momentum taking place.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aghi, for sharing these thoughts and your perspective on India-US trade deal and a promising pact between India and the United States. But moving on.